Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers, and oh my god, my beloved sisters, bisous to you. It's me, it's Hugh Hendry, the acid capitalist. Yes, here begins another acid riff for Wednesday, the first day of October, the only month of 2025 which will be called the 10th month. I'm in the Caribbean night. It's blinking hot. I don't know if you can hear it. The tinkle tinkle, the late night jazz from the Sonos in the garden, and a choir of chirpy, I suspect, tiny little frog-like creatures keeping me company. The good news, I'm off the suicide watch and I'm ready to fly. The bad news, my battery, I'm off grid and I don't have much battery. Let's see if I can nail this. Again, one take. New month, the 4th daily acid breath show in a row. Amazing, exhausting, exhilarating, perplexing. I didn't think I'd make it. October is island quiet. And we're talking no bars, no dinners, no ladies, no distractions. Just me, you, and the meter, which is running. Now let's do irony. I love a little bit of irony and paradox. Makes the investment world go round. I want to say to you, they did it. The bozos couldn't agree. Wow, there's a surprise. So the US government is on pause. Maybe it's in what? Maybe it's in the phone booth across the hall. I call it shut, closed for business, kaput. And what a delicious twist. The big, stupid employment circus. It may not open on Friday. Hallelujah. Imagine. No non-farm payrolls. Amazing. People, the newspapers say, oh, we might not get them. You better believe we're not getting them. And good riddance. Book brunch, baby. Let's breathe. Now, Q is not my name. My name is Hugh. Steelers wheel. Clowns to the left of me. Jokers to the right. Here? Well, damn here. I'm stuck in the middle with you. And we got no non-farm payrolls. Fantastic. Don't know what I'll talk about on Friday. However, one half of that band, the Steelers Wheel, one half was Jerry Rafferty. What a guy Jerry was. A Paisley boy. What does that even mean? Am I talking about the Paisley print? No, I'm talking about the town called Paisley near Glasgow. Glasgow, the city near me. Bleak skies. Hard edges. Jerry, he hated the music industry like I hate the suits. They wear the same perfume. Conservatism over talent. And their morning ritual, I'm sure I've bored you to death with this before, but this mystical, the first call, the trade whisper. Hey, get closer. I'll call you first with all my investment bank's secrets. I mean, imagine being that gullible. Oh, gullible. They've taken it out of the dictionary. No, they haven't. Stop being gullible. Your edge won't repeat after me. Your edge is not someone else's morning breath. And the only edge we want is the guitarist from U2. Turn the edge from U2 up. Turn everything else down. Now here's what you get with me. You get, I want to say, half rock star, half deranged something. Monk. My truth, I take it neat, and I take no side of bull. I've got an ADHD brain. It's on a leash of piano wire, and I'm cutting through the bullshit. Me, I don't sing choruses. But buy me a beer, and I'll tell you. Buy me a beer, buy me a tequila. Buy me a new suit. Don't buy me a suit. Well, what am I saying? Off-piste. Buy me a beer. Yeah, let's talk. And we're going to talk now. I'm going to tell you what what the bulls and the bears, what they missed today whilst they counted tenths of a tenth. Imagine. The government shut, the non-farm payrolls cancelled. Good. You know what? Did you hear that? Silence. Silence is useful. You don't need 100 headlines to think. You just need silence. Maybe some posture. Throw in a bit of timing. I'm talking about the ability to watch a stampede and blink very slowly. My friends, be a lion. Raise an eyelid if you must. Watch the gazelles in their daily escapades, hopping up and down for decimal points. It'll tire them out, and we'll hunt for them later. So today, I want to say I'm going to keep it simple. Simple is not in my lexicon. But I'm going to try and note what was printed. And you know what? If there's nothing worth my pulse, I'm not going to invent it. No data. If everyone gets bored, like I say, good. Boredom is when the pros press their advantage. I was thinking there about that Damon Albarn. Damon's the lead singer of Blur. If you're lonely, press play. If you're bored, people, press play. Wow, I'm making this up. This is acid breath. And if you need drama, try Broadway. If you need money, try discipline. Kings of the wild frontier, we do not chase. Kings let prey come to them. Now, my brothers and sisters, exhale. Let the clowns and the jokers argue about a number that is not coming on Friday. Chapter 2. Wow, I've got chapters. How long is this going to last? Chapter 2. Today's data was all about diffusion indices. I am not talking about the candles, the smelly candles that bright up your entrance in a spa. I am talking about the PMI, the Producer Manufacturing Index. I don't know. PMI, what the dickens are we talking about? It's a monthly yes, no, maybe quiz. Multiple choice quiz for factory bosses, for busy people. I'm speaking very quickly. I just realized I'm speaking very quickly. I took my genius pill at 9 o'clock this morning. What is the time now? The time is 20 past 10. And my battery's getting weaker. Anyway, same question, many different angles. Better, is your business better, same, or worse than last month? And all these answers, they roll up into a score, like rolling a joint. Above 50, expansion. Below 50, contraction. It's like a quick temperature check. Open your mouth and say, ah. Oh my God. I did visit I think I've had COVID for the last 6 weeks. Don't you hate whenever they call chest infections COVID? I hate that. Anyway, diffusion indices, not a full exam, so keep your pants on, okay? Now, why did they ask the purchasing people? I mean, why not? But in truth, because they see the trouble first. These are the boys and the girls who, maybe it's you. Maybe you order the steel, the microchips, the containers. Maybe you hire the trucks and the ships. You get things moving. And collectively, when they order more, heat, mercury is rising, baby. But when they freeze orders, business and the economy is cooling. Now, we get two of these indices from two different agencies on the same day. You know what I'm going to say? Like London buses. same day, same street, two arrive at the same time. We get the S&P Global and ISM. Same idea, just kind of different coloured clipboards. One's got a Soho House vibe, one's got a Mayfair, very United States of America vibe. They disagree because it's not exactly the same people and not exactly the very exact same moment, and it's not exactly the same identical maths. Could I be suggesting it's two photographers on the same street, maybe different light? Which one is better? I mean, I don't care. The signal is actually where these things, where there's rhythm, where they cross, where they reinforce. If both sit above 50 for a few months, so remember I'm talking about clips, I'm not talking about one. Today was just one clip. I'm talking about 3 months, 6 months. Above 50, factories are warming. Below 50, factories and the economy are cooling down. Forgive me, if one's 52 and the other's 49, so one's expanding, one's contracting, and that's kind of what today was, then truth is, nobody really knows, and so let's not pretend. Anyway, my take, watch direction. You know, I'm going to say, ignore the decimals. The first digit combined with the second digit, the 5 and the 2, tells you the story. The third digit, the third is vanity. Watch the run, not the sprint. Let me say it again. 3 to 6 months beats one print. Today was one print. Breathe. Let's think again. Agreement between the two clubs equals confidence. Today was divergence. Today, it's been this way for a while, it's complicated. So what did they say? They said manufacturing is not surging, but it's not collapsing. It's Steelers wheel. It's stuck in the middle with you. The S&P series was at 52, so modest expansion, and the ISM at 49, a mild contraction. There was a little bit of new orders were contracting. We didn't like that. Employment in the contraction side of the line. Prices expanding. I mean, you'd kind of expect that with tariffs. But the rate of change wasn't exactly raging and burning down the house. Interpretation for a macro manager. America and looking at the world, new orders down. We want to use the word fragile. We want to say hiring is defensive. I'm going to call it defensive. That no one's slashing, but no one's chasing anyone either. And cost pressures, they haven't vanished. They're there, but they haven't vanished. So treat today as flattish. And this line, today with this data, we're not roaring. We're kind of yawning. And like I say, wake me up if they converge over the next 2 or 3 months of prints. I'm getting really, really bored talking about infusion indices. What can we say? I really liked yesterday. ISM and S&P, let's color code it. Another data set which was mauve, which was violet, which was this greyish tone of lavender. If it was the shipping news from the BBC in London, they would say Biscay, like the Bay of Biscay. I think that is on the Atlantic coast, seaboard of France. I may be wrong, but the pressure is high. The winds are variable, force 2, maybe less. Sea state, smooth. Weather, fair. Horizon, uncertain. Outlook, no change. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers, my sisters, we're there. I think we're there. I think I'm going to make it one take. Forgive me, it's madcap. And as I while away, as I devour what's left of this glorious Caribbean night, jazz in the air and a chorus of chirpy frogs. Sound like, didn't Paul McCartney have some song about singing frogs? Anyway, I'm clocking out. I've got a new this brand. I'm a bit of an ambassador. 1906 cannabis pills that come in these beautiful metal tubes, like food supplements, and beautiful primary colours. I got some delivered today. Put that into your PMI. And I think I was telling you last night, I take glycine, I take magnesium glycinate. I duet with lion's mane. But tonight I've got a cannabis pill for pain, analytical pain, brain pain. So I'll report back tomorrow. That's not advice, obviously. But just as I was setting up, I was going to say the mic. There is no mic. But as I was brushing my teeth, I actually went on to Grok. I've got a super Grok, the GPT. I said, hey, show me stocks that rose over 5% today and they have a market capitalization of more than $50 billion. And the screen lit up with pharmaceutical stocks. It was all pharmaceutical stocks. And suddenly I was much younger. I was 30 years younger and I was back in Edinburgh, a young man wearing an old man's suit. And I was working for an amazing pension fund manager that sought to control risk through superior stock selection. Investing in better stocks, it wasn't a slogan, it was oxygen. And so the giants, these safe, superior, gigantic stocks that were going to control your risk, what were they back then? They were pharmaceutical stocks. I remember because we had such a huge position, I think we had like 4% of Pfizer in 1993 maybe. And they had, their $1 billion drug was Procardia, cardiovascular. I would not touch that poison nonsense. The company's biggest position was GlaxoSmithKline Beecham. It was a ritual where analysts would begin the annual review of Glaxo, and they would say, Zantac, the H2 blocker. Again, another crime against humanity. Do not take H2 blockers. The heartburn crowd. Acid. We're the acid capitalists. You need acid in your stomach. These blockers are bad. But did Zantac, are you still with me? Sorry, I'm talking to myself, talking to my young self. The question back then was, did Zantac make Glaxo or did Glaxo make Zantac? Such was we just never, imagine, like, what's the franchise for Star Wars, those Star Wars movies? Like an exceptional movie, $1 billion franchise. And they'd come across these hideous chemical compounds which were making $1 billion a year. Safe, with the armour, with the moat of the, what do we call it? The copyright protection. Anyway, fast forward, and of course we all know, the fat drug king is Eli Lilly. I mean, take metformin for free and fast and have a high protein, or bankrupt the state and make Eli Lilly very rich. Anyway, I digress. But I've got this bit between my teeth. I want to say to you, and actually this is much better than the data review of the day. Investing is remarkably easier than you think. Eli Lilly is a drug stock, but it's performed. It's performed actually even better than NASDAQ, but it peaked around 110 at the beginning of the 21st century, just like NASDAQ with its infamous, year 2K, why the bubble in all things technology and meteor stocks. And it was a long wander. And NASDAQ, it was 17 years later. And actually, Eli Lilly was almost the same, where the resistance of that great monumental price high at the turn of the century, where it flipped and it became support. 110 became not the ceiling, but the floor. Now, here's a pub quiz. Where is Eli Lilly in dollar terms? Where is it trading now? Any guesses out there? Let me tell you, it's trading 8 times higher. 8 times. It's been an 8-bagger. And the lesson, ceilings can become trampolines, people. Trampolines, price trampolines. Merck. And before I mention Merck, NASDAQ took out, again at the same time, peaked March 2000. 2017, for the first time, it exceeds that price high. And today it's trading 5 times higher. Trampolines, people. Ceilings can become trampolines. Right, Merck. Same millennial peak, the long patient grind, only this was really, talk about grinder. This has nothing to do with homosexual dating. Good luck to you all. This was grinding. I'm going to stop saying grinding. Coffee grinding. Until late 23, like until almost the beginning of last year, and then slip, then hover. The Merck, the price, it exceeded that old ceiling, and then it's come a little bit below. It's probably fallen the best part of 40%. But that line, that magnet is there, and if it goes on to clear and it sticks above it. I'm going to say it. It's going to double. Might triple. Might quadruple. Does it go up 8 times? I have no idea. I doubt it. But double, triple, quadruple? Stranger things have happened. What if? I'm just your provocateur. What if it's staring you in the face? I mean, the price pattern is staring you in the face. I hadn't even really noticed it. Just, I wasn't bored, but I had a moment and I was curious. Curiosity, people, keep asking questions. And the joy is with all this technology, questions get answers. But maybe they're huge AI beneficiaries. That data crunching. Maybe we just become immune to their roster of these shitty drugs from the past. Bristol Myers Squibb, same thing. Broke out, fell back, lurking around the price trampoline. The line that one said it was too high. People going, So, lessons, I don't need the catalyst. Because the people who live inside these names, the analysts, the insiders, they're always going to feel it first. And what we're seeing is, in Bristol Myers and in Merck, it's subtle. It's a shift from, this doesn't feel right, to, okay, I'm going to pay up. And when the pros, when they stop flinching at paying a 20 or 25-year price high, that's my catalyst. Price is the damn confession. This is the precedent I live by. So the NASDAQ, 5-bagger after reclaiming the Y2K peak, 17 years. The Dow Jones, asleep for a quarter of a century. Count it, 25 years after 1929. A quarter century of penance, paid, and then bang, 1954, altitude. So my midnight messages break a legendary high, and you release immense stored price energy that takes prices to the stratosphere. So here's my lullaby to you. I'm stocking drugs before bed. I'm taking drug stocks to bed. I'm what? I'm talking. I'm what? I'm stalking drugs and I'm talking drugs. I'm on drugs. I'm a drugstore cowboy with no belief in what they say. But for sure, I'm thinking about buying real drug companies in the real stock market. This is not a tip. It's not even a whisper. I'm just telling you what the voices are singing to me when the island goes quiet and when the jazz is mellow. Big Pharma at big levels with big history. And when the line breaks, it's amazing how quickly the story can rewrite itself. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the shipping news, the sign-off for the romantics. Biscay pressure high, winds variable force 2 or less, sea state smooth, weather fair, horizon uncertain, outlook no change until it changes. Good night, my dear friends. Great love from St. Bart's. And bisous, that's French for kisses to you all. And if I do not face plant into the garden first, if I do miraculously awake in the morning, rise like Lazarus, I promise I won't see you, but I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Hugh Hendry signing off from the Caribbean, from the glorious St. Bart's. Good night.